Okay, the link you just sent me goes back to the event that we were hosting.
Oh,
Let's
really?
try it. Are we live? All right. Maybe.
Kind of?
I think. No, we're indeed live. I don't understand anything that YouTube says or does. None of this has any basis in reality. But hi.
Hello.
All right. Welcome to Unboxed Live. I'm Jason, and with me today is Jamie Lee, who is part of our team here at the larger company under which Unboxed sits. She helps run our BeautyBy platform, which you should check out on the iTunes store.
Check it out.
Yeah, Jamie, thanks for joining.
Absolutely. I like what you've done with the place.
Thanks. It feels good. Feels right. I'm a little frustrated at YouTube today. I'm not gonna lie.
I've been sitting here helping out, but kind of not.
You were very helpful, I promise. I swear. And apologies for those of you watching who are watching me as I'm on my computer trying to tell the two other people who were sitting in the room that there was something going on. Anyway, well, welcome. Today, I wanted to make sure that we talk about something that is coming up that is something that you and I have both experienced. And it's exciting, it's scary, and it's an important turning point in an individual's life. And by that, of course, I mean puberty. I mean CES. CES. No, so last year was CES, last year CES was the first for both of us.
Yes.
And Jamie and I thought we would share some tips and tricks, some do's and don'ts, some yeses and some good Lord, don't do that. What was CES like for you last year?
Good Lord, don't wear heels.
Don't wear heels.
Don't wear heels.
It's a great,
Don't wear heels.
it's a phenomenal thing not to do.
Tip number one.
Right.
Long lines.
Yep.
Prepare for rain.
So well, hold on.
Rain.
Okay.
We had
before,
rain.
Before we dump at everybody all the things in our brains.
I just remember
Just
rain.
tell me about the overall experience of CES first. Bearing in mind that Vegas doesn't actually get that much rain. I don't anticipate we're going to have that same problem. But tell me a little bit first. Maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong.
Right.
Tell me first your first impressions of CES. First time you stepped on the showroom floor. What was that like?
Overwhelming. Incredibly overwhelming. It was like walking into a tech circus.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I felt like.
Okay.
It was incredibly fun. I didn't feel like I had enough time to see everything.
There really isn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so much to see on the floor. There's that sense of sort of both wonder and awe, but at the same time also
FOMO?
Yeah. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
boy, there's a lot of that.
Yeah.
Do you think you're not coming to CES this year?
As of right now, no. So there, I have a little bit of that FOMO. Like, what am I going to miss out on? Dancing robots?
You're going to miss out on me, which I think is the most important thing. You're going to miss out on guys like our friend Devin from C-Kid and El Jefe, who I think might be coming out too. You're going to be missing some cool folks. Yeah.
Maybe I might show up. I might come over to the suite.
But will you?
Yeah.
But will you?
I might surprise you.
You
All
might.
of you.
You might. Okay. So CES happens every year in Vegas. It is the headline show for consumer electronics makers. What were some of the things that resonated with you at last year's show? Things that you really enjoyed?
Personally, there are a few things that I actually really like.
What other way would there be? Yeah.
I mean, but there's things that could really be work related. But I love the entire LG setup that they had. The LG setup, all the homewares, the smart refrigerator.
Yeah.
I would never have to open a door ever again. I just kind of kicked it underneath and it would just open the door. Like, I mean, you can't beat that. I wouldn't have to open the fridge and I could see everything that's inside.
Do you find, so at a show like CES, do you find yourself more interested, since you brought up LG as an example, do you find yourself more interested in the different veins of technology? So new touchscreen technology, new foldable phones type stuff, last year's thing with the wallpaper thin television, right. Or do you find certain brands you're more interested in engaging with? Which of those two tracks were you sort of more on, I guess I should say?
For me, it was more of the new technology.
Okay.
I didn't care what brand it came from because I knew there were different brands that were out there that might be new and upcoming. But for me, it's definitely the technology that's out there. It's really cool to see the different types of television, smart cameras, phones from brands that I didn't even know. So
yeah,
that was cool for me.
What brand did you learn about last year you didn't know about before? Apparently one of them that stuck. Do you remember Huawei? We looked at the Huawei booth.
Yes,
we
yes.
met there a few times.
But I heard about it before in the office,
Okay.
so that wasn't something new.
Somebody actually watches my videos. That's nice.
Yeah, I do. At night.
Anyway.
Um,
God, I hope not. All right. Well, so let's take a step back then. I think one of the things I would love to tackle first is not only the types of tech that you see on the floor,
Right.
but as you said earlier, there's some really strong things you want to make sure you do or don't do when you're actually on the convention floor.
Okay.
And I would preface also by saying that yes, last year was my first CES, but I've done Comic-Con, I've done other tech shows,
Right.
other video game stuff. We've been to E3 a bunch of times,
Yes.
right? This is not our first
BeautyCon.
rodeo. BeautyCon, the best con,
Yeah.
as it were. At a convention of this size, what would you say are some of the top things you want to pay attention for? Your top 5 tips, if you can think of any. And by the way, feel free to yell back at me. I'm asking you a lot of
Yes.
questions. This is meant to be a conversation.
Comfortable shoes.
Excellent.
Bring water. Hydrate, because you
Okay.
can't find water or food anywhere.
Snack bar,
was hard.
protein bars.
Yeah, protein bars.
Yeah,
Protein bars.
we may want to start buying stock in Cliff.
Yeah.
You know, because the Cliff bars last year were
And
kind of a key.
Aquafina,
And
yeah.
Aquafina.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coca-Cola, that is, yeah.
Yeah. No, we definitely.
Pepsi.
Well, I remember at one point we got stuck sitting on a floor by a bathroom eating
Hot dogs.
hot dogs and crappy fried chicken for what I think
Yes.
might be the 88th time. Yeah, it was not good.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Okay,
Not good.
so comfortable shoes.
Yeah.
Prep the food stuff ahead of time.
Check the weather.
Check the weather.
Check the weather.
Check the weather.
Yes.
To your point earlier, it rained in Vegas last year.
And it was like once in 10 years, flash floods.
Right.
So the convention flash flooded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as a number of people noted last year, it shorted out some of the electrical system in the main hall. So you had a bunch of tech creators who were, they're on their phone. They're like, oh my God, look at all the nothing. It all went away. It's pitch black in here, which was super exciting. I was stuck on a bus when I got that text from, I think it was our friend Kyle, who was like, yeah, I'm on the floor and nobody can see anything.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so checking the weather.
Yes, check the weather.
Very important. Would you say choice of clothing is also important beyond the shoes, which I know you mentioned and I agree with?
Right. It was chilly. I felt like it was
Really?
chilly in the convention room floor. I mean, maybe for me, but I mean, I don't know for you. Maybe it was hot since you're interviewing everybody like Ray J and movie stars.
Oh, God,
I mean,
can
I
we
don't
talk
know.
about that for a
I don't
second?
know.
I want to talk about some of the people that you might meet on the floor at this incredible show.
Right.
So, may I tell a story? Would that be okay? Because this is just too good to pass up.
Yes, please do.
So, Anton is here behind the camera, as he always is. And Anton and I were, I think it was on our, what was it, the last day, Anton? Yeah. Last day of CES, we're walking around, we're exhausted. We've been wandering around the floor. We're just looking at this point for like any pickup shots we want to get. And Anton gets a tug on his arm, and he looks over, and it's this woman who seems very interested in Anton, and he's totally befuddled about why is this stranger tugging on my arm. And she goes, hi, I'm a publicist for Raycon. I see that you have a camera. Are you guys part of a crew of some kind? And he goes, Jason, and like calls me over. And we find out that it is the publicist for Ray J. I'm not going to tell you what you remember Ray J from, but if you hit Google, I guarantee you're going to remember what you know Ray J from. And Ray J's publicist.
Brandy's brother.
Brandy's brother. He's Brandy's brother. Definitely no other reason he's well known. Anyway, Ray J decided that he really wanted to be interviewed by us, in that his publicist may have been really desperate for people to interview Ray J. I don't really know. But as you're watching in the video here, I got a chance to actually spend about 20 minutes interviewing Ray J about Raycon, his electric scooter company. And you're all welcome to watch the video if you want to see it. It was definitely an engaging experience.
Highly engaging.
Yeah, super strange.
Highly engaging.
Indeed.
Yes.
But you know what? I'll say this. Joking aside about Ray J and the strangeness of that event, I would say that one of the cool things about CES is that, like other big conventions, you do actually see a lot of people on the floor that are really interesting. And whether it's other creators, I mean, I think last year at CES was the first time that we had the pleasure of meeting Mr. Mobile, Super Saf. I think we met Roberto Blake for the first time, a handful of other, David Kogan from The Unlocker. You get to see a lot of really smart, really engaging folks, and you get to sometimes even meet some celebrities.
Right.
if we're going to call Ray J a celebrity, I'm not so sure. Yeah. Yeah, maybe. You were going to say something.
Oh, no. I was going to say, just going back to the piece we were talking about, being able to meet different people. And this is one of those places where brands actually want to talk to you as well, which is really cool. If you have a camera and you got a crew, people want to talk to you. I mean, Ray J, for example, his crew and Raycon, and, it's a great way to get out there.
It's true. I will say this too. One of the cool things that we got, and this is an absolute do. You should, if you are a creator going to sorry, not VidCon, to CES. I think I said VidCon accidentally. I don't know. Too many cons. They all blend together. When you're at CES, one of the great things that we noticed that we would recommend is if you go to a booth, let's say Razer, you go to Razer and you say, hey, Razer publicist, I'd like to talk to somebody for 20 minutes about Project Linda, which was one of the big things they announced last year. And you go to them and you're like, I want to talk to somebody and I want to interview them on camera. 9 times out of 10, their answer is just going to be, great, here are the time slots that we have available. For a content creator in YouTube and really any ecosystem, it's a tremendous opportunity to just really be on the ground floor of some of the most interesting and innovative brands and technologies out there. We got a great question from Devin at CKid who asks, can't wait to attend, but I want to make sure I make the best of it by planning out my days. I think that may help. What do you both think? Well, a map. Start with a map.
Pick up the catalog first day. Pick up the catalog. That's the best way to map out all the different places you're going to go to.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think I would also suggest if you're going to do it a little bit more area-centric, right? If you are going to do the map thing, plan to spend a day in a single building. Don't try to do it based on some of the technology that you're interested being in one spot, but another being in a different spot. Going between the different convention centers at CES can be a bit of a nightmare. I mean, imagine conservatively 80 or 100,000 people trying to negotiate 2 or 3 conference buildings and the buses that take them. It gets packed and ugly fast. So
Ubers don't work. Nope. The train, you're going to have to wait in line for the trains between the hotels. So definitely, if you can, camp out in one convention hall per day.
You can walk everywhere. I mean, the one part of this that's important is that, I mean, if you have the time, you can actually walk from A to B. But if you're holding, a bunch of equipment, right? You got your laptop, your camera, your stand, mics, it gets ugly fast. So getting a map and planning ahead, probably the best way to do it. And for content creators, I would also suggest planning your content in advance a little bit too. Yeah. We made that mistake last year.
We kind of flew, shot by the hip.
You shoot from the hip. Hold on. Colloquialisms 101. You either shoot from the hip or you fly by the seat of your pants.
We flew by the seat of our pants.
You were going for flying by the hip of our shot, I think is what I thought you were doing there.
Yeah, something like that.
But yeah, I would say... I mean, I think planning ahead is key, and as El Jefe is saying, other creators are already thinking about this ahead of time. My concern with what we did last year, just to give you guys the story, and help me fill in the blanks, because I think we sort of ended up all sort of doing this together. We just got there and started shooting. Yeah. Whatever we could get. And we sort of thought that we'd do some pickup shots and just get general crowd. That didn't work out as well for us, I don't think.
No, I definitely think planning ahead, finding out what products you want to feature, things that you're interested in, because it's so easy to get lost in the crowd, everything, in the excitement, because there is so much cool stuff.
Yes.
That's there. So, I mean, you can walk in 2 feet into the convention center and just be stuck in the front for, I would say, hours.
Yeah. Well, and I think, too, that you end up talking to a lot of really interesting people who may have very little to do with what you're working on or interested in.
Exactly.
We had a conversation with an interesting company, don't get me wrong. They were building remote driving technology for trucks. The idea being that even though everything's moving towards automation, there's still value in having a person behind the wheel on a truck.
Right.
But truck driving is an incredibly arduous and incredibly difficult task. What if you were able to make it so that somebody sitting at a remote station in Poughkeepsie could drive trucks in Des Moines and just do so, slowly, and when their 9-hour shift was over, literally hand it off almost immediately to somebody else, like a co-pilot. Oh, wow. And that's really cool. Yeah. That has nothing to do with what we do here. We do not do automated driving for trucks. That's just not us.
Hence 25 minutes later, that could have been time for other type of content.
Yeah, and I think that while it was interesting, I mean, I think we certainly feel as though it was a conversation that was informative. couldn't do anything with it.
You can save those types of conversations for post-conference drinks.
Yes,
Yes,
absolutely.
yes.
Of which there will be many.
Lots.
Unless you don't drink, and there is no requirement there. Hey,
No.
this is
Water.
Everything is social. Everything is fine. There's definitely coffee in here.
Yes.
Also, pointed out, I heart my grandma. Feel like that's important.
Pardon my French roast. Yes.
Indeed. We like clever coffee cups here at Unboxed and BeautyBy. It's how we roll. Do you remember any of the technology, anything that was innovative last year that you not only were interested in, but also played into this past year? Is there anything that you saw that you saw as a constant theme?
So, working in beauty, for package, I actually explored the beauty conference hall, which was incredibly interesting. I thought was really great. So there was a lot of new technologies that was coming out from like Philips. There was another product called Romy, which actually made bespoke skincare, daily bespoke skincare. So you had little pods that you would buy from the company, and you put it into a little machine, and it's almost like an espresso for skincare. So every morning you would make a new serum, and the serum would be based on how your skin was feeling that day.
So BeautyBy focuses on clean, green skincare products sourced from all across Asia. Does that kind of technology seem to be more pervasive as time has gone on? That like we're seeing more, not just bespoke, but also very specifically tailored to the individual?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So now more and more skincare is almost kind of being broken down. Instead of your all-in-ones, people are really looking into products where it's very specific for a specific need.
Yeah.
So there is no hope in a jar or miracle creams anymore. Really, it's exactly what your skin needs.
Good.
Yeah.
And now that we've plugged all the relevant
Yes,
things to
yes.
BeautyBy.
Thank you.
BeautyBy.app. Go check it out. I mean, I think that across the realm, right, of consumer products, this kind of personalization, but I will say this, I miss the old days. I'm an old school guy, right? I miss the days of my Nintendo and my Super Nintendo. And one of the things is the fact that while there's a ton of stuff happening in the world of new and innovative and different and exciting and experimental, there's also the retro. We did a whole video last year. I don't know that we ever actually published it. I'll drop in the link at some point. But last year, we found a ton of really interesting booths all devoted to retro technology being updated for the modern age.
Polaroid.
Right. Oh, Polaroid was a huge
awesome.
thing there, right?
Yes.
They, and even things like brands like Kodak that are still part of the modern zeitgeist really reaching back to their history to pull out the really important stuff for now. And of course, there's pinball machines and video game emulators and all that. Atari had a whole thing.
We had the whole thing. We were
we were playing Pong.
At it. Yeah,
we were playing Pong on a flat desk.
Yes.
But my favorite, because I think it actually applies to a lot of what we see nowadays, is that this kind of content these kinds of products. I can't speak today. That these kinds of products are much more prevalent, even in the last year and a half, than they were previously. For me, the idea that we, we're always looking forward. We forget the fact that, like, when you release something like the PlayStation Classic that just came out, or the NES Classic, those are still really well received by people.
Well, this is where I kind of think where tech is kind of like fashion.
Yeah.
We take inspiration on things from the 60s and 70s. Not that you guys know this now, but what I'm saying is, like with vintage, it's all coming back. The 60s and 70s are making a huge comeback. And you see it right now in tech, and all of the things from the 80s are super hot again. So, I think maybe tech follows fashion.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe just a little. Not me, though. I'm clearly not fashionable.
You're timeless.
I am timeless.
Jason is timeless.
Like my hair, it's timeless.
Anton shaking his head.
Anton very reasonably shaking his head, because I can't get through a damn show without mentioning my hair. But to be fair, when you come from a family of people who are all seeing their hairlines recede, you got to be proud of something. It's important.
Every day.
Every day I talk about this.
Sorry, the stream just went bad during that part.
Oh no, the stream went bad during me talking about my hair. I should do that again. Anyway, all right, so let's review, right? Comfortable shoes.
Comfortable shoes.
Food and water.
Yes.
There are stuff to buy there, but you got to be careful.
Weather.
Check the weather. Plan ahead.
Plan ahead.
Right? Map it out. And then maybe our fifth and maybe most important thing, have fun.
Yes,
Have
absolutely.
a good time.
Have a good time.
Yeah. To me, I think that it's really easy to get overwhelmed with all the
Right.
work you got to do, with all the people you're trying to meet, with all the connections you're trying to build, and that's reasonable, right? It is still a business trip, but you're in Vegas. You're at the Consumer Electronics Show. You're going to meet people. You're going to have drinks. You're going to have food. Like, just lean into it.
Yes.
I think the challenge with that is that it's really easy not to indulge,
Right.
You just get so obsessed with work. Yeah. Oh no, phone's going off. Whose is that? Anyway, but we had a good time last year, right?
I think we had a great time.
Yeah.
Food, eat off the strip if you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get off the strip whenever you can
Yes.
is really our advice.
Yes. That's where the best food is at.
Yeah, I think the challenge that we experienced last year was that we found one place we really liked and we went back a couple of times.
Yes.
There's a Korean barbecue joint, and if anybody's interested, send us a private message. We'll send you the address.
We'll
I don't
give
want
you
to
the
spoil
link.
it for everybody. But this place was
Amazing.
super good. And we'll definitely be hitting it up again. Don't
Yes.
you worry.
All you can eat. That's all. All you can
all
eat.
I can eat.
Yeah.
I can eat
Elastic
a lot.
pants.
Yeah,
Elastic
oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Bring
Tip number
comfortable
6,
pants.
elastic pants. Yes.
Like you want the like when the Hulk transforms and it's the purple ugly pants that stretch. You want those. Trust me, you don't need to be fashionable.
Yeah.
You just need to be comfortable. Anton, any other thoughts, feedback, ideas? Anything we didn't cover that you think is important?
Maybe something about like the headliners. You could probably skip that and really go for the cool stuff.
You're talking about so instead of just going to the big names like
With
yeah,
the big.
I agree. So
big displays.
Right. So one of the things that we tried to do last year, and this is actually pretty pertinent, is instead of trying to find the weird tech that was out there, right, like a lot of creators do, we ended up just kind of focusing on big brand names, right? When we weren't having, unfortunately, unnecessary conversations with people who were founding truck driving companies. Like really, we just you go to Samsung, you go to Huawei, and it's all good, but it's busy.
Right.
And it's a great place. It's a great way to meet a lot of creators, but if you're actually looking to get stuff done, it's a lot harder, right? I think, as I said earlier, you can reach out to publicists, but you don't also have to wait till you get there. Publicists at companies like a Samsung or a Razer, they're expecting you to reach out to them, so do it ahead of time, and maybe that's another way to plan your trip as well.
Well, I also think when Anton and I went ahead and walked around the beauty part of
Yeah.
CES, there were a lot of small startups there. So I think you'll find, I think this is with the regular part of CES as well,
Yeah.
that there is an international kind of like a startup area.
Yeah.
So I think going to the startup areas, they're really open to talking to you. They love to explain and talk about their products, and I think you'd get a lot of great, content. And,
Right.
and
So
a lot of great content.
I'm gonna give you-
Also alcohol that they
And
Okay.
they give you food. and
Yes,
alcohol.
yes, they will give you food and other sundries. So the one thing I do want to point out too is that every content creator who goes to CES generally makes one of the following 3 videos, and I think you should all just get your templates ready because I think it's just you just get it ready. The first is everyone does the standard wrap-up video, right? A bunch of B-roll
Yeah.
with voiceover about stuff they saw and did. Perfectly fine. It's a lovely video. I'm
Right.
sure if you're anything like us, you're going to take some really good shots that you can piece together for at least a few minutes. The second is the in-depth with the brand. You went to DJI's booth, you got to fly the new Mavic 2, you're super excited about it, you made a 7-minute video about it. And the third is the weird tech of CES. And that, to me, that's my favorite.
Oh,
That's the
I
one I
love
look
the new
forward
stuff.
to.
Yes.
Yeah, not the new stuff
No,
necessarily.
but new weird stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, Austin's done it. Marquez has done it. Everybody loves to put together at the end of CES, like, what's the strange stuff that you're never going to see in a store, you're never going to actually, ever buy, but CES is host to just the strangest of the strange. I love it.
Man.
Yeah.
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 The closet that folds your laundry.
The closet that folds
Yes,
your laundry,
the
that's
closet
right.
that folds your laundry.
And there was the, Marquez did a whole video about it. Oh, it was the robot that plays ping pong. Zero practical
yes,
application in any
yes,
sort of
yes.
consumer-facing world, but it's really fun to watch people get their asses handed to them.
By a robot.
By a robot. So, personally, that's the kind of stuff I really enjoy. And the other 2 videos are great videos too. You should do them. It's great to show sponsors what you can do when you can have time with them individually. There's plenty to show off in terms of the actual trends of CES. But the weird tech videos are just they're pretty great.
Yeah, those are definitely fun. Yeah. Because it's stuff you don't usually see.
Yeah.
And you'll never ever really buy.
Totally. Totally. Devin is also asking if we could give one thing that is a must-do for while we're there. My immediate answer is Korean barbecue, but to be fair, that's not a good answer.
Oh,
yeah.
man.
But the truth is, it is actually, right? I mean, I think it is.
It's Vegas.
Right? Vegas has some of the best food.
Buffets. What's a buffet that you guys went to, Anton?
We went to Wicked Spoon and
Wicked Spoon. I heard about
and the
this.
Wind Buffet.
Yeah.
Linus
So
Tech Tips were at the Wind Buffet.
that's right.
Win.
Some of the team that went to the Win Buffet, and Linus and his team were there, and they were starstruck. In that they were starving and did not pay attention. They were super hungry. No, I mean, I think honestly, like the rest of it is important. You're going to get, there's sort of these different waves of things that happen at CES that you'll get caught up in and just roll with it. But honestly, make time to go actually enjoy the food in Las Vegas because it really actually is some of the best. And if I can throw a recommendation out there, Milk Bar and Momofuku.
Yes.
So Momofuku and Milk Bar are in the Aria, I believe?
Cosmopolitan.
I always do that. In the Cosmopolitan, some of the best food you'll have next to the best dessert that you'll have.
Crack pie.
Yep.
Got to get the crack pie.
Yep. There's also, as Devin is mentioning, the Gordon Ramsay spots there.
Oh, yeah.
Always good. I mean, Gordon Ramsay is a phenomenal chef. I think Wolfgang Puck has at least a couple of restaurants. Michael Mina.
Yeah.
All celebrity chefs.
All celebrity
chefs have something there.
And honestly, we could do an entire show about the restaurant world in Vegas.
There's a Thai restaurant off strip. Yes.
I don't have anything to contribute there. Look, I'm sorry that I don't have any kids and I didn't have parent night the way that you guys had, where it was just like, we're staying up till 11, everybody. Let's do it.
11 o'clock, hand grenades walking down the strip. Yes, do that, Devin. Do that. Highly recommend it.
I don't even know what a hand grenade is. I don't want to know. Anyway, is there anything else you can think of? Any other key thoughts, points?
Oh, just enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, if I was going again, which I might,
I don't believe you. Yeah.
I'd book a spa, but then that's me.
Right.
I'd book a spa day. Yeah. After eating with these guys and walking around with them all day at CES, I need a spa day.
Yeah, my one piece of feedback is make sure you're staying in a hotel that's got a good gym because you're going to want it with all the food you're going to eat.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah.
Meat sweats.
Oh, God, the meat sweats. Oh, I'm still sweating just thinking about it. Very cool.
And always call shotgun.
Oh, always call shotgun.
And I called shotgun after Korean barbecue.
Yeah. Actually, you know, Jackson is in our chat making a good point, too, where he's talking about making sure that you connect with brands early, and if you get the opportunity, get their brand material from them as quickly as you can. I know that this is ancillary to what we were talking about with food a moment ago. This is probably more pertinent for you. If you can reach out to the brands ahead of time, get their brand graphics so that when you're sitting in a hotel room building videos, you don't have to wait for them to send you stuff or rip it, right? Yeah. Think about the editing process as much as the shooting one as well. Yeah, I think you definitely, you want to plan for that as much as you can.
Oh, yeah, like carve out editing time.
Yeah.
Carve out to shoot all day and then eat and then...
And, you know, I'm going to throw this out there because there's some folks who've been watching this entire video, and I really do have to, you know, I have to give them some love. If you're a content creator and you're coming to CES and you'd like a super secret special place to come and hang out and find a safe spot to edit and get a bite to eat, send us a direct message. We might know a spot.
Maybe.
Yeah. I don't want to divulge any information. It's probably too secret to tell, nonetheless. But no, I mean, I think, sorry, so Devin's asking about brand graphics. So, you know, like when you reach out to, like if we're sponsoring a video, right, we reach out to a creator and we say, hey, thanks again for, you know, for letting us sponsor this video. Here's all the graphics and assets you need. So PNG files for logos, any motion graphics they want you to include in the video, any screen grabs of their website, that kind of stuff. It's always easier to get that stuff in advance. So if you know you want to go talk to Razer, you've already got all their brand materials up front. So when you're done with the conversation, you get all your B-roll and then you just go and edit. And you don't have to ask anybody for like extra Razer approved graphics. You got it all taken care of. So I think
do it all
that's
now.
key.
Yeah, definitely do it all now.
Any work you can do up front, it's going to be important. Yeah. Okay, I feel like we've talked this to about its end. I don't know what other tips or tricks we would have. When you go to Walgreens and buy new hair product, make sure that somebody didn't open it up and like take a handful already.
So gross.
It was so
that
gross.
Was so gross.
It was not great.
It was just somebody just took a big
dollop.
Yeah. That was Don't do that.
Having some feelings thinking about it now.
Yeah.
I should have kept it to myself. Anyway, Well, Jamie, thanks again for joining. I realize that
absolutely.
you know, CES isn't necessarily a beauty thing, but it is actually.
Yes.
So I hope we do get to see you this year.
Lots of technology goes into that.
Don't I know
it?
Yeah.
Into that.
It's all plastic surgery.
Yeah.
Jamie, if folks want to reach out to you, what's the best way to do it?
You can go ahead and reach out to us on Instagram. You can direct message us on Instagram at beautyby.app.
Cool.
Yeah.
And
So we're on it.
yeah, and we'll be, like we said, we'll be at CES in varying capacities. Feel free to reach out to us at Get Unboxed on Twitter or Instagram as well. And of course, you know, we're just so excited that we're going to get to meet so many great content creators and influencers in the world of tech and beauty at CES that, you know, if you happen to be watching this video and I don't know, you watched it all the way through and you want to know more, head over to, you know, unboxed.tv. Check us out. Let us know what you think. Sign up for an account. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, we really feel like it's definitely the place to be, as it were.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Now I'm getting FOMO. Like, man, I have to go to CES
You
now.
might.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my precarious plug. But yes, if you've watched this all the way through and you haven't, check us out on unbox.tv, where we're collecting information all about the top trending products across YouTube's most influential content creators, including some of the folks that have been chatting with us during this very stream.
Thanks for chatting with us.
Indeed.
Thanks for joining.
Absolutely. And in the meantime, guys, we look forward to the next live stream. We're going to try and start to do these a little bit more frequently. Hopefully, we'll get the link right eventually. 9 times a charm, as the kids say. In the meantime, I'm Jason. This is Jamie. I wasn't sure if you were going to do it. We'll see you guys. Thanks again. Have a great day.